The secret in the shadows, the colony was quiet that night, too quiet for comfort. Dust storms had passed earlier in the evening, leaving the alien mining settlement covered in a gray blanket. Lights flickered weakly across the streets, and most of the workers were asleep, resting for the long day ahead. But deep inside one of the stone houses, a secret lived. A secret no one in the colony must ever discover. Inside, the alien mother sat near a dim lamp, her sharp features tense. Her skin carried faint blue markings, glowing lightly in the dark. In her arms lay food. She had managed to steal nothing more than scraps, but she held them tightly as if they were gold. She walked into the hidden chamber at the back of her home, pushing aside loose stones. Behind them, in the shadows, a pair of human eyes waited. The boy was small, thin, but his gaze was sharp. His hair was messy, his skin pale compared to the aliens outside. He looked up when she entered, his eyes wide, hungry, but also filled with trust. "You must be quiet," the alien mother whispered softly, her voice low and careful. No sound, no light, no mistake. The boy nodded. He never argued. He had learned long ago that a single sound could mean death for him and for her. She gave him the scraps of food, and he ate quickly, though carefully, like someone who had been hungry for too many nights. The alien mother watched him, and something in her chest tightened. He was not her child, not by blood, but her heart refused to treat him otherwise. The colony hated humans, called them dangerous, cursed. It was believed that humans had been wiped out generations ago. But here, in the shadows, one human boy lived, protected by the one creature who should have despised him most. Every night was the same battle, keeping him hidden from neighbors, from guards, from enemies who would love to use this secret against her. The mother knew she was being watched. There was one, her old rival, who always searched for weakness. He had long suspected her of hiding something. If he ever discovered the boy, the punishment would be worse than death. The boy finished eating and leaned against the wall, his eyes heavy with sleep. "Why do you protect me?" he asked quietly, his voice soft, almost broken. The alien mother froze. She had been asked before, but she never gave the full answer. She sighed and brushed her hand gently over his hair. "Because no one else will." She whispered, "Because the stars gave me this duty. Because even if the whole world turns against you, you must have one who stands with you." The boy's eyes watered, but he did not cry. He had learned to stay silent, to hide emotions the same way he hid his body. Yet her words planted something in him, something dangerous. Hope. A sudden noise outside made them both jump. Heavy boots on stone, voices echoing in the night. The enemy's patrol. The alien mother's face turned pale. She quickly pushed the stones back, covering the chamber, hiding the boy in darkness. "Not a sound," she whispered again, her voice sharp, her heart pounding. She stepped into the front room just as the door opened. A tall alien stood there, his eyes narrow, his smile thin and cruel. He was her enemy, the one who never stopped watching her. "You keep your house locked too tightly," he sneered. "What are you hiding in these shadows?" Her hands clenched, but she kept her face calm. "Nothing but my life," she answered coldly. "Do you wish to search every room like a thief?" The rival leaned closer, his breath hot with suspicion. His eyes scanned the house, lingering on the stones she had just moved. For a long, terrifying moment, she thought he would discover the truth. Finally, he stepped back with a mocking laugh. "One day, I will find what you hide. And when I do, not even your courage will save you." He left, the sound of his boots fading into the night. The alien mother stood frozen for a while, then slowly returned to the hidden chamber. She pulled the stones aside, and the boy's small face appeared. "Was it him again?" he asked. She nodded, her voice heavy. Yes, he suspects, and one day, he may discover you. The boy's heart raced, but he didn't look away. Then I'll fight. She looked at him in shock. For all his weakness, there was something in his eyes that frightened her, not fear, but strength. A dangerous human strength that the universe had forgotten. The shadows around them seemed heavier that night, as if the stars themselves knew that secrets cannot stay hidden forever. And somewhere, deep in her heart, the alien mother understood. The day of discovery was coming, and when it arrived, nothing in the colony would ever be the same again. The enemy's suspicion the morning came with the dull sound of machinery. The mining colony woke slowly, its people dragging themselves to another day of hard labor. Dust still hung in the air, clinging to clothes and skin, making every breath heavy. The alien mother moved among them as if nothing was wrong, but her heart was not at peace. She felt the rival's eyes on her again. He was always there at the edge of the crowd, leaning against walls, pretending to talk with others, but never far from her sight. He carried suspicion like a weapon, sharp and ready. The alien mother lowered her head and kept her movements calm. She could not risk giving him a reason to follow her. But deep inside, fear twisted like a knife. Every day, the danger grew. The boy was safer now, hidden in the chamber behind her house. But for how long? The rival had already come to close the night before. She knew it was only a matter of time before curiosity turned into proof. That afternoon, while workers gathered near the mines, the rival stepped forward. His tall frame cast a shadow across the group. His voice carried a sly edge. "You keep to yourself too much," he said loudly, his eyes fixed on her. "Perhaps you are hiding something. Something forbidden." The other aliens turned their heads. Whispers began, soft but dangerous. The alien mother forced a calm expression. "I hide nothing," she said firmly. "I live as all of you live." But her rival's smile widened. He loved to see her cornered. He walked closer, circling her like a predator testing its prey. "Do you?" he asked. "Strange then that I often see you wander away alone. Strange that you guard your house more tightly than anyone else here. Strange that you never let others step inside." Her hands tightened into fists. She wanted to strike him, but that would only feed his suspicions. Instead, she forced her voice steady. "Maybe I enjoy silence," she replied. "Not all of us enjoy filling the air with empty words." The crowd laughed nervously. Some looked away, others leaned closer, enjoying the tension. The rival's smile faded slightly. He did not like being mocked, especially in public. He leaned in close, his whisper sharp enough to cut. "I will find out what you are hiding, and when I do, you will beg for mercy." The alien mother said nothing. Silence was her only shield. But inside, her chest burned with fear. That evening, she returned home, her steps quick, her eyes checking every corner. When she reached her door, her heart froze. Footprints in the dust, not hers, not the boy's. Someone had been near. She rushed inside, pushing past the front room, straight to the hidden chamber. She moved the stones aside, and there he was. Boy, sitting quietly, waiting. Relief filled her, but also dread. "Did anyone come?" she asked urgently. The boy shook his head. "No one entered. I heard steps outside, but they left." The alien mother pressed her back against the wall, breathing hard. "He is searching. He will not stop. You must be even more careful now." The boy looked at her, his small face serious. "Why does he hate you?" She hesitated. The answer was long and bitter. Once, long ago, she had refused to join the rival's faction. He had never forgiven her. But now, his hatred had grown into obsession. "Because I do not bow to him," she said finally. And because he thinks breaking me will give him power. The boy's eyes darkened. Then one day, I will fight him. Her heart twisted at his words. He was still just a child, yet his voice carried a fire she had never expected. She wanted to tell him no, to keep him safe, but she also knew he would not always remain hidden. The day would come when he had to stand. That night, as the colony slept, the rival moved quietly through the streets. His eyes gleamed with hunger for secrets. He stopped outside the alien mother's house, crouching low, studying the walls. The doors, the ground, he traced the faint marks near the stones she often moved. His lips curved into a slow smile. Something is here, he whispered to himself. Something worth the risk. He touched the wall gently, as if feeling the heartbeat of the secret within. Then he stepped back, his eyes shining with victory. He had not seen the boy yet, but his suspicion was now more than a guess. The enemy had found a trail. Inside, the boy woke suddenly, his chest tight. He did not know why, but he felt that someone was close, someone dangerous. He looked at the alien mother, who was still awake, watching the shadows. Their eyes met, and neither spoke. They both understood. The walls that protected them were closing in, and soon there would be no place left to hide. The colony still slept peacefully, unaware of the storm building in the dark. But for the alien mother and the hidden human boy, every second was a countdown. The enemy's suspicion was no longer suspicion, was hunger, and hunger never stops until it is fed. Close call the next day began with heavy clouds and sharp winds. The colony seemed restless, as if the very air carried warning. Workers moved through the streets with tired eyes, and children ran under watchful gazes. Yet, behind one quiet house, danger moved silently. The alien rival had not slept well. His mind was fixed on the secret he believed the mother was hiding. All night he thought of her locked doors, her strange silences, the stones behind her house. Now, with the rising sun, he decided to test his suspicion. He followed her from a distance as she went to gather supplies. His eyes studied every step, every glance. She did not look back. But she felt at his presence pressing at her back like a knife. Inside her hidden chamber, the boy waited. He sat against the wall, clutching a small piece of cloth she had given him, the only comfort he owned. Hours felt long when he was alone, and fear always whispered in his ears. He wondered if she would return before nightfall. But then, he heard its soft steps outside the stones. Slow, careful, not hers. His heart raced. He held his breath. The rival was there. He touched the edges of the hidden wall, pressing his fingers into the cracks. A thin smile spread across his face. Yes, he whispered. Something is here. The boy closed his eyes tight, praying silently. If the stones moved, if even a sound escaped him, the world he knew would end. Far across the colony, the alien mother felt her chest tighten. A strange instinct clawed at her heart. Something was wrong. She dropped her supplies and ran back toward her home, her steps quick, her face pale. When she reached the corner, she froze. The rival was there, crouched near her wall, his hand brushing against the stones. "Step away," she commanded. Her voice sharp like steel. The rival looked up slowly, his eyes shining with cruel amusement. "Ah, so quick to protect this place," he said, "too quick. Why is that, I wonder?" She walked closer, her body blocking his view. "Because this is my home. And you are trespassing." The rival straightened, towering over her. "Homes do not tremble when I knock," he sneered. "But yours, your walls shiver, your eyes burn. Tell me, what bleeds in your shadows?" Her fists clenched. "Leave." For a moment, silence stretched between them. The boy inside could hear every word, his heart pounding. His hands shook, yet he pressed them against his mouth, forcing silence. Finally, the rival chuckled. He leaned close, his voice low but dangerous. "One day, your walls will crack. And when they do, I will be there." He turned and walked away, his laughter cutting through the air like a blade. The alien mother waited until he disappeared. Then she rushed to the hidden chamber, moving the stones aside with trembling hands. The boy's wide eyes met hers. He was pale, his small body stiff with fear. Did he see me?" He whispered. Her chest ached at his voice. She shook her head quickly. "No, he suspects, but he has not seen. You were silent. You did well." But inside, she knew the truth. This was too close. The enemy had almost torn their secret open. Next time, he might not fail. The boy swallowed hard. "I thought I was caught. I thought it was over." She knelt beside him, pulling him close. Her arms wrapped around him, strong but trembling. "You are safe. As long as I breathe, you are safe." For a moment, the boy allowed himself to rest in her arms. But in his young heart, something stirred, again the same fire as before. He hated the fear, the hiding. He wanted to fight, not just to wait. "Maybe one day, I won't need hiding," he whispered. The mother closed her eyes. She wanted to promise him peace, but promises were fragile things in this world. That night, the colony seemed calm, but neither of them slept well. The boy lay awake in his chamber, staring at the ceiling. He imagined the rival's cruel face, the sound of his footsteps. Every whisper of wind felt like danger approaching. The mother sat by the lamp, sharpening a blade. She was not a soldier, but she would fight if she had to. She thought of the boy's words, "Maybe one day, I won't need hiding." It frightened her, but it also gave her strength. Outside, the rival stood again at a distance, watching the faint glow of her window. His eyes narrowed. He could smell secrets now, taste them in the air. He would not rush. He would wait. Because one thing was certain: secrets always reveal themselves. And when this one did, he would be ready to strike. The boy finally closed his eyes, but his dreams were restless. In them, he was no longer hiding. He was standing in the open, facing the enemy. His hands shook, but his eyes burned with fire. When he woke, he remembered the dream. He did not tell the mother, but he carried it quietly inside him. The close call had passed, but it had left a scar. From that day on, both mother and boy knew silence and shadows would not protect them forever. The enemy's suspicion was growing. And soon, the truth would demand to be seen. The discovery the colony was loud that morning. Metal clanged in the mines, voices shouted orders, and dust filled the sky. Yet inside the alien mother's heart, there was only silence, heavy, dangerous silence. She knew the rival would not wait much longer. His suspicion had grown too sharp. The boy sat quietly in the chamber, his small hands gripping his knees. He listened to every sound outside, to every footstep that passed. He had grown used to fear, but today it felt heavier. The mother tried to act normal, carrying water, speaking briefly with neighbors, showing no weakness. But her eyes kept drifting toward her home. Her chest told her something was coming. By midday, the storm arrived. The rival and 2 guards appeared at her door. Their presence was not friendly. Their faces carried arrogance. The rival stepped forward, his tall frame filling the entrance. "Today," he said coldly, "I will see what lies in your shadows." The mother's blood ran cold. She tried to block the way. "You have no right," she argued, her voice strong. "This is my home." The rival smirked. "Homes belong to the colony. Secrets do not. Step aside." Before she could reply, the guards pushed past her. Stones shifted, chairs scraped. Her carefully protected world trembled. The boy pressed against the back wall of his chamber, his breath shaking. He heard footsteps, louder, closer, till the stones that had hidden him for so long were pulled away. Light poured in, and there he was, Dash discovered. The rival froze for only a moment. Then his face twisted into triumph. "A human," he whispered, almost in disbelief. All this time, a human boy. The guards gasped, fear flashing in their eyes. Stories had been told for generations, stories of humans who were dangerous, cunning, impossible to control. To see one alive, hidden among them, was like seeing a ghost. The boy shrank back, but his eyes glared with quiet fire. He would not cry, not in front of them. The mother rushed forward, blocking their view. "He is just a child," she shouted. "Here's no threat to you." The rival laughed cruelly. "No threat. Do you not know the legends? Humans are death-born, even there. Children carry danger, and you dared to keep him here, under our noses. Oh, this is more than treachery, it is betrayal." Her voice broke, but she stood firm. "If you want punishment, take it from me. Leave him be." The rival's smile widened. "Oh no, this is far too valuable. A living human. Look, the council will reward me beyond measure. They will sing my name for centuries." He stepped closer, his eyes gleaming as if he had found treasure. "You will be remembered only as the fool who tried to protect him." The boy's chest tightened. He looked at the mother's back as she shielded him, and something inside him burned hotter. He hated the rival's laughter, the cruelty in his eyes. For the first time, he felt not just fear, but anger. The rival reached forward, his long hand stretching toward the boy. "Come out, little one. You belong to me now." The boy's body tensed, but before he could move, the mother pushed the rival's hand away with sudden force. Her voice cut like fire. "He belongs to no one." The rival's face twisted with rage. For a moment, the room shook with tension. The guards hesitated, unsure if they should act. The boy's heart pounded as he watched. He wanted to scream, to fight, to strike the rival down, but his body was too small, too weak. Still, his eyes locked with the enemy's, and for a brief instant, something strange happened. The rival faltered. Those human eyes filled with defiance, glowing with strength beyond age, settled him. It was as if the stories were alive again, standing before him in the shape of a boy. He quickly masked his unease with anger. "This is finished," he declared. "The council will decide. Until then, the boy stays under my watch." The mother stepped forward, her voice sharp with desperation. "No, you will not take him." The rival smirked. "Try and stop me." The guards dragged her back, and the rival grabbed the boy's arm. The mother screamed, struggling, her voice echoing through the colony. Neighbors peeked out, whispers spreading like fire. "A human boy, hidden here." The colony trembled with shock, fear, mixed with excitement. Some saw danger, others saw opportunity. But all eyes were now on the boy. The rival raised the child's arm high, shouting to the crowd, "Look, the last of humanity, found at last, and it is mine." The mother's cries echoed. The boy stood stiff, his small face pale, but his eyes still burning. He did not look broken. He looked alive, furious, dangerous, and in that moment, the colony realized something. The secret was not just discovered, it was unleashed. The mother's Plath colony was no longer quiet. Word had spread like wildfire. Human boy had been found. The streets buzzed with fear and curiosity. Some aliens whispered of curses, others of profit, and many of danger. But for the alien mother, there was no time for whispers. Her child, the boy she had risked everything to protect, was now in the rival's grip. The rival dragged the boy through the main square, holding him up like a trophy. "Look at him," he shouted. "His voice sharp and cruel. A creature of old nightmares hidden in our colony all these years. The boy struggled, but his small body was no match for the rival's strength. Yet even as he was held captive, his eyes did not lower. He glared with silent fire, refusing to show fear. That defiance unsettled many who watched. The alien mother forced her way through the crowd, her breath ragged, her heart burning with fury. "Let him go," she cried, her voice cracking. "He is only a child." The rival turned, his grin wide. "A child? No, he is a weapon, a curse. With him, I will rise above all others. The council will kneel before me when I deliver this treasure." The mother fell to her knees before him, her hands trembling. Pride had no place here. She would beg if it meant saving the boy. "Please," she whispered, her voice breaking, "take me instead. Do what you will with me, but let him go. He has done nothing, harmed no one." Gasps spread through the crowd. An alien mother begging, pleading for a human child. Such a sight was almost unthinkable. The rival's laughter echoed. "You beg for him? You shame yourself for him. How pathetic. You love this creature as if it were your own." Her voice rose, steady despite the tears in her eyes. "Yes, more than you could ever understand. He is innocent. He deserves life, not chains." The rival leaned closer, sneering. "Life? Humans do not deserve life. They are destroyers, liars, beasts. You. You have betrayed your own kind. To shelter one." He raised his hand as if to strike her, but froze. For the boy had stepped forward, his small voice cutting through the air. "Don't touch her," he said. The words were soft, but they carried weight. The crowd fell silent, staring at the boy. His voice, though young, carried strength, almost command. The rival smirked. "You dare speak to me, little beast?" The boy did not look away. "She protected me when no one else would. If you want to hurt someone, hurt me. Leave her." The mother's heart shattered at his words. "Oh," she reached out. "You're spilling down." Her face, "No, child. Don't say that. Don't give yourself up." But the rival's grin widened. "How noble. How foolish. The child has courage. I'll grant him that. But courage will not save him more you." He turned to the crowd, raising the boy high again. "The council will decide their fate. Until then, they are mine." That night, the mother was thrown into a holding chamber. The boy was kept in another, guarded tightly. Darkness surrounded them both, but their thoughts reached for one another across the walls. The mother pressed her hands together, whispering to herself, "Stars above, give me strength. Do not let them break him." The boy sat against the cold floor, his eyes heavy with exhaustion, but his spirit unbroken. He thought of her words, "Because no one else will protect you. Because you must have one who stands with you." He clung to them, letting them burn like fire inside him. In the rival's quarters, he paced like a predator who had caught rare prey. He imagined the council's reaction, the rewards, the power. But deep down, a small unease gnawed at him. When the boy had looked at him earlier, it had felt wrong, as if those human eyes could see through him, as if they carried something dangerous. He shook the thought away. "Tomorrow," he muttered, "I will present him, and then she will beg again. And she will break." But the alien mother had not broken. She sat in the dark, her face bruised, her knees weak, yet her spirit fierce. She had begged once, but she would not stop. If she had to crawl, if she had to shout until her voice was gone, she would keep pleading. For this was not about pride, not about herself. It was about the boy, the hidden child who had become her heart, and somewhere in the shadows of the colony, whispers began to change. Some aliens, unsettled by the boy's strength, began to question. Others wondered if perhaps the legends of humans were not all curses, but truths too long buried. The rival did not know it yet. But his triumph had set a spark, and sparks, once lit, could grow into fire. The boy's defiance. The council hall of the colony was a place of stone and fire, where decisions shaped the fate of thousands. That morning, the rival entered proudly, dragging the boy behind him. The alien mother followed in chains, her eyes swollen but still burning with strength. The hall was crowded. Elders with glowing markings sat high above, while common aliens filled the shadows. All came to see the secret revealed: a human child, alive when humans were thought long dead. The rival threw the boy forward like an offering. "Behold," he shouted, his voice booming, "the last of humanity found in our colony, and it was I who uncovered him." Gasps echoed through the chamber. Some eyes widened in fear, others in curiosity, some even in awe. Whispers spread like wind. "A human? Is it true?" The boy stood, brushing the dust from his knees. His body was small, fragile, yet his back was straight. He did not bow, not even before the elders. The mother's voice cracked the silence. "He is only a child. Do not judge him for the blood he carries. He has harmed no one." The rival smirked. "Lies. Humans were born destroyers. Even a child is dangerous." Why else would she hide him? She knew the truth. One elder leaned forward, his eyes sharp. "Is it true, woman? You sheltered him, knowing what he is?" The mother raised her chin. "Yes, I sheltered him because he is more than your legends. He is more than fear." Murmurs rippled through the hall. The rival's smile grew wider. "You see, she admits her betrayal. She deserves punishment. And the boy, he belongs to us now." The boy's hands tightened into fists. His chest rose and fell quickly, but his eyes never lowered. Finally, he spoke. "You talk as if I am not here," he said. His voice was small, yet it carried across the hall like a spark in the dark. The crowd fell silent. "I am human," he continued, "but I am not your enemy. I never hurt you. I never wanted this. But if you try to take me, if you try to hurt her—" His voice shook, but then it grew stronger. "I will not bow. I will fight." Gasps spread again, louder this time. A child threatening the council. No one dared such words. The rival laughed harshly. "Fight. Look at you. Weak, small. You are nothing." The boy's glare sharpened. "Nothing doesn't scare you. If I was nothing, you wouldn't fear me. But you do." The rival's laughter froze. The words, though simple, struck deep. The crowd stirred, eyes darting between the boy and the rival. For the first time, doubt fell upon the proud enemy. The mother's eyes filled with tears, not of fear, but of pride. Her boy, her hidden child, was no longer just surviving. He was standing. The head elder spoke slowly, his voice heavy. "Strange, very strange. I see no fear in this boy, only strength." Perhaps the stories were not lies. Another elder hissed, "That strength is what makes humans dangerous. Better to end him now before he grows." "No!" the mother shouted, struggling against her chains. "He is proof that not all humans are monsters. He is proof that hope survives." The boy stepped forward, his small shadow stretching across the stone floor. "I am not a curse. I am not a weapon. I am just me. But if you chain me, if you hurt her—" His eyes flashed, fierce and unyielding. "Then I will show you what it means to be human." The hall trembled with his words. The crowd murmured louder, torn between fear and respect. Some leaned back, as if his presence was too much to bear. Others leaned forward, captivated by his fire. The rival clenched his teeth. He had brought the boy to humiliate him, to prove his power. But instead, The boy was stealing the moment. Whispers of admiration filled the air. Courage. Strength. Perhaps the old stories were true. The rival's voice cracked with fury. Silence. He is a beast in disguise. Do not be fooled. But the boy did not stay silent. He lifted his chin and stared straight into the rival's eyes. You can call me beast, curse, monster, but you will never make me bow to you. The hall erupted into chaos, shouts of fear, cries of anger, whispers of awe. The elders struck their staffs against the stone, trying to restore order. And in that storm of voices, one truth became clear. The boy was no longer just a secret. He was a symbol. That night, the mother sat in chains, but her spirit felt lighter. She whispered through the bars, knowing the boy was close enough to hear. You were brave today, she said softly. Too brave for your years. The boy pressed his hand against the wall, his voice steady. I only said the truth. She closed her eyes. The truth was dangerous, but it was also powerful. And power, once revealed, could never be hidden again. The rival lay awake, seething. The boy's defiance had turned the colony's eyes. No longer was he only a prize. It had become something else, something the rival could not control. And that, more than anything, terrified him. The turning point: the colony did not sleep that night. The council's chamber had been shaken by a child's words, and whispers carried through every street. Some aliens spoke in fear. Human among us is a curse. Others spoke in awe. He stood. Without fear, he defied even the rival. And still others began to wonder, could the old legends of human strength be true? The rival, restless in his quarters, paced like a caged beast. The boy's eyes haunted him. If I was nothing, you wouldn't fear me. The words echoed again and again, scratching at his pride. He had wanted glory, but instead, he had given the boy a stage. Now the colony looked at the child, not with only terror, but with dangerous respect. Morning came with heavy clouds. The council gathered once more to decide the fate of the human boy and the alien mother. Chains rattled as the mother was dragged forward. The boy walked beside her, not in chains this time, for the elders wanted to see him, clearly wanted to measure the truth of his spirit. The rival stood tall, his voice sharp with anger. Do not be fooled by his words, he warned. He is a spark that will grow into fire. Kill him now, while he is still weak. But one elder, old and wise, spoke calmly. And yet the fire you fear may be the fire we need. The boy did not bow. He spoke with truth. I saw not a monster, but a heart stronger than many of our own. The hall stirred with divided voices. Some shouted for the boy's death, others for his survival. The air shook with the weight of decision. The boy, though small, stepped forward. His voice rose clear and steady. You argue about me as if I am not here. But I am here, and I will not beg you to let me live. If you want to kill me, then kill me. But know this: if you do, you will prove yourselves weaker than the stories you fear. The chamber fell silent. Even the rival froze, stunned by the boy's courage. The mother's tears rolled down her face, but they were not only of fear, they were of pride. Her child, hidden in shadows for so long, now stood brighter than the fires of the hall. The rival snapped out of his shock and roared. With fury, he drew his blade and lunged at the boy, determined to end the challenge once and for all. Gasps filled the hall as the weapon flashed. The mother cried out, throwing herself forward, but she could not reach in time. The boy did not run. He did not bow. He stood still, eyes locked on the rival, filled with fearless defiance. And in that instant, something changed. The rival's hand shook. His blade stopped inches from the boy's chest. Those human eyes, sharp and unyielding, struck fear into his heart. It was not the fear of a child. It was the fear of a force greater than himself. His body trembled. Whispers spread, he cannot strike him. The rival cannot kill the boy. The rival roared in frustration, but his hand would not move. The elders watched closely, and the old one spoke again. The blade does not fall. Perhaps the stories our true humans are not curses, but chosen. The hall erupted into chaos. Some shouted in agreement, others in denial. But one truth was clear. The boy had turned the balance. The mother rushed to him, pulling him close. "You stood without fear," she whispered, her heart trembling. He looked at her calmly. "Because you taught me. Because no one else would." The rival stumbled back, his pride shattered. No glory, no triumph remained. He had been defeated not by blade, but by the courage of a child. The council, seeing the truth, declared their judgment. The boy will not be killed. He will not be chained. He will live, and we will watch. For he carries something greater than fear. He carries hope. Cheers and gasps filled the chamber. The mother wept openly, clutching her child. For the first time, she believed their fight had not been in vain. That night, the colony glowed with new whispers. Some still feared the boy, others admired him. But all knew one thing: nothing would ever be the same again. The boy lay beside the mother in their small chamber, no longer hidden behind stones, but in the open. He looked up at the stars through a crack in the roof. "Do you think they will ever accept me?" he asked quietly. The mother stroked his hair gently. "Some will, some never will. But you have already shown them what it means to be human, and that is enough." The boy closed his eyes, a small smile on his lips. He was no longer only the secret in the shadows. He was the light they could not ignore. And in the silence of the night, the stars seemed to burn brighter, as if they too were watching the rise of something long forgotten: humanity.